On the news, multiple attacks leave 12 killed and 4 missing in northern Nigeria. President Buhari again reverses directives issued by Power Minister. And the Ethiopian Parliament passes new legislation to regulate access to arms. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. We begin in Plateau State, where unknown gunmen have killed 12 persons and injured one in Kumbum district of Mango local government area. The attack was announced by the State Police Command and it happened on Thursday morning. Spokesperson for the command, Tenat Rupev, said a team of directives have been mobilized to the crime scene for an on-the-spot assessment. He assured that the police will go after the suspect and ensure they are brought to book. Elsewhere in Katsina State, 4 seminarians have been abducted by gunmen suspected to be kidnappers. The victims were reportedly abducted when the gunmen stormed the Good Shepherd Catholic Seminary in Kaku along Kaduna-Abuja Road on Wednesday night. The State Police Command says it has also launched a manhunt for the perpetrators. A chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Olunwo-Gele South local government area of Delta State has been killed by gunmen suspected to be hired assassins. Paul Onomakoku was shot dead on Wednesday night while driving along the Ogoni Road near the Palace of Olomu Kingdom. According to reports, the PDP chief Kane was ambushed by the gunmen who rained bullets on him and his Toyota Camry car. Delta State Police Public Relations Officer Onome Koyeya confirmed his death on Thursday. He said no arrest has been made, but the State Police Command has opened an investigation into the matter. President Muhammadu Buhari has overruled the dismissal of Marilyn Amobi as managing director of the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company Limited. Amobi was dismissed in December 2019 by Minister of Power Salim Maman over alleged malpractices. But a memo from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, released on Thursday, quoted the President as nullifying the dismissal. The memo also announced that the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company Limited has been moved from the Ministry of Power to the Ministry of Finance. The President's decision is coming less than 48 hours after he reversed the suspension of Damilola Ogunbiyi as the Managing Director of the Rural Electrification Agency, REA. Ogunbiyi was also suspended by Maman over alleged malpractices. An FCT High Court Maitama on Thursday sentenced Olusegun Osewe, Director General of the National Council for Art and Craft, to jail for contempt of court order. Justice Jude Okeke gave the order while ruling on a motion which sought an order of the court to sentence Osewe to prison for disobeying the court's directives issued on December 15, 2017. Justice Okeke described his decision to ignore the court order as highly contemptuous, adding that committing him to the custody of the Nigeria Correctional Service would serve as a deterrent to others who abuse office and disobey court orders with disdain. He ordered the Inspector General of Police to arrest the NCAC boss with immediate effect and hand him over to the NCS pending when he retraces his steps. The case has now been adjourned until March 16 for hearing of defendant's notice of amendments of motion. The court had ordered parties in the suit to stay proceedings on every activity concerning the demolition of the Arts and Crafts Village located in the Central Business District area of the FCT. However, the respondents in the suit, particularly the NCAC, flouted that rule. A panel set up to investigate the finances of the Imo State Oil-Producing Areas Development Commission has indicated that former Governor Rochas Okorocha has indicted former Governor Rochas Okorocha of diverting over 6 billion naira of state funds. The panel, headed by Romanus Ezeogu, submitted its reports to the state governor Emeka Ejeoha on Thursday. Ezeogu said the panel findings on finance and monetary-based transactions in the commission showed that the ex-governor Okorocha had administered the accounts of the commission as a slush fund, as over 6 billion naira could not be accounted for. Ezeogu equally alleged that Okorocha took 422 million naira from the commission's treasury to purchase pre-inauguration vehicles from Rise and Shine Motors. The report added that Okorocha diverted 200 billion naira to purchase transformers during the 2019 campaigns. The panel also indicted Pascal Obi, former principal secretary to the ex-governor, who is now a member of the House of Representatives, for receiving 35 million naira from the commission's funds. The panel also recommend that Okorocha and Obi be summoned to explain what they did with funds belonging to the state government. And in the southwest, governors have launched the joint security outfit Amotekun to address growing cases of kidnapping and banditry in the region. 3 of the 6 state governors in the region were, however, absent at the launch. They include Chapo Abiodun, Koyega Yotola, and Babajide Sanwo-Olu, governors of Ogun, Osun, and Lagos State, respectively. The launch took place at the Secretariat in Ibadan, Oyo State on Thursday, with Rotimi Akeredolu, Kayode Fayemi, and Seyi Makinde of Ondo, Ekiti, and Oyo present. The Joint Admission and Matriculations Board, JAM, has waded into the controversy involving a female candidate from Niger State, Goodness Thomas. JAM records showed Goodness had scored 302 in UTME and 274 in ABU post-UTME screening, but she was denied admission by the Ahmadu Bello University to study medicine. But speaking in Abuja at a meeting convened to review the matter, JAM Registrar Ishak Oloyede had ordered ABU to admit her into its medicine program instead of the anatomy course she was offered. Despite her high UTME score, Goodness was denied a place on the medicine course at ABU Zaria, sparking nationwide uproar and negative reports against ABU and JAM. At the press conference on Thursday, Oloyede said Goodness had changed her course from medicine to autonomy, and that was why she wasn't admitted. But Goodness said she was compelled to change her course to anatomy following a call she allegedly received from ABU. At the press conference on Thursday, the Director of Schools and Educational Services, Bello Atahiru, effected the change of course for Goodness from anatomy to medicine. The Niger Basin Authority has trained journalists in Abuja on reporting disasters. Communication expert at the Niger Basin Authority, Kaya Abdullahi, described journalists as forces to be reckoned with as they intensify their crusade to end flooding and other disasters in the Basin region, including Benin, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, Mali, Niger, Nigeria, and Chad. He noted that populations of the Basin are more confronted with disasters, hence the role of journalists in raising awareness and managing information about it.
During this meeting, we will exchange on NBA's missions, objectives, challenges, projects, and programs. We will also discuss NBA's communication strategy. We will take advantage of the meeting to redefine the missions and expectations from the NBA network of journalists for better informing and sensitizing all Niger Basin stakeholders. We also discuss about the PDP project.
We've been able to really have other activities like when there's a forecast for flood management. You know, in 2012, there are lots of issues that we lost a lot of properties and both human and properties, which was a result of what happened from Lado Dam in Cameroon. Through this MBA, we've been able to have, forecast on when issues on flood is about to happen. They notify Nigeria, not only Nigeria, all the member countries, and for the essence of that notification is for us to take measure so that we will not be able to, so that we don't have the negative impact.
The river which flows down the Niger and Benue, the waters, if well harnessed, they will help to improve agriculture and as well as other activities. This workshop, I think it will not be just to let us know about the existence of MBA, but it will also help us to precisely understand more what it takes and what are the programs and policies that MBA has been saddled with to ensure that the Niger Basin is made to work more efficiently for the member nations. There
are over 5 million people living with Down syndrome worldwide, And in developing countries like Nigeria, people battle with misconceptions about the condition. Rose Modi has now taken up the challenge to advocate for the rights of kids with Down syndrome with her charity foundation. This next report has more. She's the face of Down syndrome in Nigeria and one of the staunchest advocates for people living with the condition. 32 years ago, Rose Modi gave birth to a girl child with Down syndrome. And with little information available about the condition, she battled societal stigma and faced challenges caring for her newborn.
When I found out that she has this condition, I made up my mind that I was going to create an awareness. Because even within the medical society, they knew next to nothing about that condition. And but it took me another nearly 12 years before I decided to set up an organized foundation to not only create awareness, but to reach out and help other families that have children with this condition.
Her foundation is not only helping to fight off stigma associated with Down syndrome, it's also giving sufferers a new lease of life by empowering them with life skills. And apart from receiving formal education, the 50 kids at her Down syndrome foundation learn skills for financial independence, including hairstyling, skincare, and makeup. Through her foundation, Rose is advocating for the rights of children with Down syndrome and calling on parents to understand the condition so they can be more accepting of their kids.
The stigmatization actually began from the family. You go to a family, maybe a family of 4, you would only see 3 being brought out there. The other one would be locked away because the families were feeling ashamed. They used to feel ashamed.
Rose's Down Syndrome Foundation organizes yearly awareness campaigns for the condition. 3 decades down the line, public awareness level of the condition has really grown.
If you go and interview 2, 3, 4, 5 people, at least 1 or 2 will tell you, oh yes, they know about what Down syndrome is. But before then, they would ask you, what's that? I remember when we first started, there was a lady that came to me. He said, what is this thing you call dancing drum? Because is it that when they beat the drum, the children dance? Because they didn't even know what it was about. When they heard about it, they did not even understand what it was about. But now it's not happening anymore.
Helen has twin girls who have Down syndrome. She recalls her confusion as to the condition her twin girls had until she encountered Rose and the Down Syndrome Foundation. She now advises parents how to handle kids like hers.
I advise any parents that have this child to show that child love. That is all they need. If you can show them love, any other thing is secondary.
But there's a lot more to be done. Rose is concerned that the right structure to cater for the kids are lacking in the country. She's currently on the lookout for partnerships to better cater for kids with Down syndrome. And with the disability bill recently signed into law, she's hopeful about the future of her children. Annette Felix, TV360, Nigeria. You're still watching news now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll be right back shortly. Please stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
On TV360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent.
Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that band.
TV360, providing clarity to issues.
You're welcome back. Joining us now to talk business is Oyin Adekun. Hello, Oyin.
Hi, Anita.
Please bring us up to date to the latest in business today.
Well, the Niger Customs Service generated over 1.3 trillion naira in the year 2019. The amount generated is over the target of 969 million naira set for the year and more than 139 million naira, which was generated in 2019. Commenting on this feat, the Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, described it as a result of resolute pursuit of what is right and putting national interest before personal interest. Public Relations Officer Joseph Atta, who revealed this on Thursday, says the service revenue generation profile has continued to be on the rise annually as the ongoing reforms in the service continue to go on. The partial border closure, which has forced cargoes that could have been smuggled through the porous borders to come through the sea and airports, raised revenue collection from the ports as well. Business stakeholders and taxpayers have been charged to play their roles in growing the Nigerian economy by paying their taxes. Lagos State Internal Revenue Service gave this charge on Thursday, saying it became imperative following the government's resolve to increase revenue generation and a compliant tax system. And oil prices steadied on Thursday, a day after the tumbling on concerns raised by an Iranian missile strike on Iraqi bases hosting U.S. forces. Brent crude futures were down 5 cents at $65.40 a barrel after a 4.1% fall on Wednesday. They are now lower than they were ahead of the January 3 killing of Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani and a U.S. drone attack in Iraq, which prompted the Iranian response. West Texas intermediate futures were up 1 cent to $59.63 a barrel after falling nearly 5% a day earlier. In Thursday's attack, 2 rockets fell on Baghdad's Green Zone, which houses foreign missions and government buildings. We'll now take a short break and return with stock market review. Please stay tuned.
Corruption not in my country.
That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
That's how we roll.
Because let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
But it is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
you will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make we only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Investors at the NSE are on a roll this year as the market continues to boom seriously this season. After hitting its highest gain in more than 7 months yesterday, market rally continued today, with crucial market indicators crossing the 28,000 benchmark to close at 833 points higher, and that's 29,395 basis points, and that's equivalent of 2.92%. Markets equally saw capital gains today after rising by nearly 2 trillion naira to close at 15.164 trillion naira. In all, there were also more gainers than losers, with the market's largest capitalized company, Dangote Cement, leading the rally for the 4th straight day with a gain of 11 naira to close at 175 naira today. And MTN Nigeria as well followed with a gain of 6 naira 50 kobo to close at 116 naira. And of course, we see that Presco added gains from previous session to close at 57 naira and 5 kobo, while Guarantee Trust Bank also chalked up 1 naira 30 kobo gain to close at 32 naira and 55 kobo. And on the flip side, sadly, there were also losers today, despite the fact that market is rising. Union Dye Consult PLC led the losers chart, and Access followed with a loss of 65 kobo to close at 10 naira 95 kobo. Also, Unilever and UBA completed the list of 4 losers, having shared off gains respectively. And on the activity level today, we see that market turnover closed negative as volume moved down to 693.188 million units today, and that's from 741 million uptick recorded in previous session. And the value of that came in at 7 billion naira and compared to 9 billion naira in previous session as well. And since the beginning of 2020, investors on the Niger Stock Exchange have gained 720 billion naira, and that's equivalent to $1.9 billion. And this, investors say, makes it one of the world's best performing stocks. So I guess it's such a good time to invest in the Niger Stock Exchange. But moving on now to foreign markets, we see that FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei, just like the NSE, also rising, closing in the reds. And that's it on business. It's back to you, Aneta.
Before we go to a foreign scene, let's check in with a report filed in by our correspondent, Abisola Adebayo.
An average Nigerian is not properly informed on why the federal government imposes tax on businesses and individuals. This ignorance is largely responsible for the country's unimpressive tax generation level. To change this trend, the government has brought together business owners and tax experts to rub minds and better understand the role of taxes in the Nigerian economy.
There are evidences to support the contributions of SMEs to economic development in many developing countries. However, the Nigerian government tends to focus more on larger corporations with foreign investments to the detriment of SMEs, whose activities are wrongly perceived to have insignificant impact on the economy. This perception had since been debunked by evidence from antecedents of OECD countries, suggesting that SMEs have a high propensity to transform a country's economy if a conducive environment is created for them to grow through appropriate regulation and tax policies.
Another identified factor limiting Nigeria's tax generation level is the misunderstanding between fines and taxes. Chairman, Lagos Inland Revenue Service, Ayo Subaru, clears the air on the mix-up.
Talking about growing business, those of us who are coming in, the first thing is registration for payee at the nearest office of LRS for all your employees, including management staff. The earlier you get to register and you allow us to work with you, the better.
Managing partner of iNet Resources, Vivian Annie, also shed light on the section of the Finance Bill 2019, which will ensure that small businesses with turnover less than 25 million naira will be exempted from companies' income tax.
Some of the provisions of the Finance Bill 2019 include any company that has turnover of less than 25 million will not pay income tax. If you have above 25 million but less than 100 million, you pay 20% against the current 30% that was applicable before this bill came into place. One of the other sweeter, some of the other sweeter things they also put into the bill was that if you're within this below 25 million naira bracket, you don't need to file VAT returns anymore.
Taxation is very vital to businesses because government oftentimes channel this money back into the economy in the form of loans or other forms of funding. Taxes also help raise the standard of living in a country, which in turn influences the economic performance of a nation. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Nigeria.
And now to the foreign scene. Ethiopia's parliament has passed a legislation on gun ownership aimed at curbing the surge in regional ethnic violence in the country. The new law provides for each region to stipulate a legal age for gun ownership while limiting the number of firearms an individual can own to 1. It also bans private trade in weaponry and only allows certain government institutions to import guns. Anyone found guilty of arms trafficking will be liable to face prison of up to 8 to 20-year term. Last April, the Ethiopian government said it had seized 21 machine guns and over 33,000 handguns in different parts of the country. This proliferation of small arms has been partly blamed for hundreds of killings in various ethnic conflicts over the past 2 years that have displaced more than 2.7 million people in the Horn of Africa country. West Ham manager David Moyes has said Joe Cole is being considered as coach for the club. This is coming after Moyes was unable to bring star players who was on his coaching team during his previous spell in charge back to the club. The former England international Cole had 2 spells at West Ham as a player after graduating from the club's academy, before moving to Chelsea, where he won 3 league titles and 2 FA Cups. According to reports, Joe Cole is currently working as a television pundit, has also expressed his interest in rejoining his old club. And that's it on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Thanks for watching.